What if you could take an ordinary human and turn them into the perfect physical specimen? Stronger, faster, smarter, able to run for miles without tiring, survive battlefield injuries, and outperform elite athletes in every measurable way. That's the promise of the Super Soldier Serum, most famously used to transform Steve Rogers into Captain America. But could something like this actually exist? Or is it pure Hollywood fantasy? In today's episode, we're going to break down the real science behind this serum, what biology allows, what technology is already exploring, and where science fiction completely breaks reality. I'm Dr. Dan Stokes, and this is the Real Science of Sci-Fi. In the Marvel Universe, the Super Soldier Serum performs a remarkable transformation. It enhances Steve Rogers' strength, it improves his speed and endurance, it accelerates healing, and it optimizes mental performance. Crucially, it does not give Steve Rogers supernatural powers. Instead, it elevates him to the absolute peak of human potential. And that detail matters, because peak human performance is something that real science actually understands quite well. But enhancing every system in the body simultaneously? That's where things start to fall apart a little. Humans already vary enormously in physical capability. You have elite powerlifters that can lift over 500 kilograms. You have sprinters that can cover 100 meters in under 10 seconds. And you have endurance athletes that can run for hours without stopping. Yet no single human excels at all three of these things. Why? Because the body is built around trade-offs: muscle fiber density, bone density, heart size, oxygen transport, energy metabolism, nervous system signaling speed. By optimizing one system, you often compromise another. The Super Soldier Serum somehow bypasses all of these trade-offs, and that's the first major red flag. First, let's talk muscles. Muscle tissue comes in two main forms. There's fast twitch fibers that generate explosive power and speed. Then there's slow twitch fibers that provide endurance and fatigue resistance. Elite athletes are usually genetically biased towards one or the other. Captain America gets both. In theory, muscle, can it be enhanced artificially? Well, partially. Modern science is already investigating some of this. Myostatin inhibition to increase muscle growth, for example. Gene therapies for muscular dystrophy, for example. And then there's hormonal manipulation using testosterone, IGF-1, and growth hormones. Animals engineered to suppress myostatin develop dramatically increased muscle mass. But with bigger muscles can come some serious consequences. They exert enormous forces on tendons, ligaments, bones, not to mention the heart. In real humans, rapid muscle enhancement would almost certainly cause torn connective tissue, joint failures, and potentially lethal cardiac complications. The Marvel Universe conveniently ignores these constraints. But muscles are only as strong as the skeleton that supports them. So we have to talk bones next. Bones remodel slowly, very slowly. Even with optimal nutrition and mechanical loading, significant increases in bone density take months or even years. Astronauts lose bone mass in microgravity despite rigorous exercise. For Captain America to safely support his enhanced muscles, his skeleton would require a greater mineral density, altered collagen architecture, and reinforced joints. None of this can occur in minutes. Instant skeletal enhancement alone places the serum firmly in the science fiction category. Captain America can sprint, fight, and operate continuously with minimal fatigue. This requires exceptional oxygen delivery, high mitochondrial density, and an extraordinarily efficient cardiovascular system. This aspect of the serum is surprisingly close to real science. Endurance training already increases red blood cell count, capillary density, and mitochondrial efficiency. Some individuals are genetically predisposed to excel in endurance sports. However, artificially pushing oxygen transport too far introduces some severe risks. It can thicken the blood, increase stroke risk, and pathological heart enlargement. the serum somehow manages to achieve a perfect balance that biology rarely allows in humans. Whilst we are talking oxygen and energy requirements, we shouldn't ignore the serum's ability to enhance healing. Captain America heals much faster than a normal human. This is one of the more fictional aspects of the serum. Rapid healing would require accelerated cell division, heightened immune activity, and rapid tissue regeneration. Unfortunately, rapid cell division is a hallmark of cancer. Any therapy that significantly increased accelerated healing would almost certainly increase cancer risk as well, probably trigger immune overactivation, and would probably damage healthy tissue. Real regenerative medicine progresses cautiously for exactly this reason. Research in this area is fraught with dangers. Selective, risk-free accelerated healing remains firmly out of the reach for now, therefore. The serum also improves reflexes, awareness, and emotional control for Steve Rogers. This is slightly more plausible. Neuroscientists are already exploring enhanced neuroplasticity, the modulation of neurotransmitters and brain-computer interfaces. But the brain operates within extremely narrow biochemical margins. If you were to push neural activity too far, you would risk seizures, neurotoxicity, and long-term cognitive damage. There's no safe way to massively enhance reflex speed without severe consequences. What about other Super Soldier Serums in sci-fi? Captain America is far from the only attempt at a super soldier in sci-fi. Science fiction is full of similar ideas, and many of them actually solve problems that Marvel ignores. In the DC world, the Venom serum used by Bane massively enhances his strength, but it comes at the cost of dependency and psychological instability. That trade-off is far more realistic. In Halo, the Spartan program combines genetic screening, surgical augmentation, chemical enhancement, and powered armor. Crucially, many candidates die or are permanently crippled. That brutal failure rate aligns far more closely with real-world biology. In The Witcher, mutations grant enhanced strength from reflexes, but only after surviving an extremely lethal transformation process. Again, realism emerges through risk and mortality. In the Universal Soldier films, enhancement relies on cryogenic preservation, drugs, mechanical augmentation, not a single miracle serum. Across science fiction, the more believable versions acknowledge that this enhancement comes at a cost. Marvel's serum does not. So, could anything like this ever exist in reality? As a single injection that works instantly and without severe risks? Almost certainly not. However, some components of the Captain America serum already exist. Scientists are already researching gene therapies for muscle and blood disorders, performance-enhancing drugs, neural stimulation technologies, and regenerative medicine. But combining them all into one treatment with instant effect and zero side effects is currently way beyond our current science. If real super soldiers were ever to exist, they would far more likely be technological rather than biological. It's more likely they would be constructed from powered exoskeletons, advanced body armor, AI-assisted situational awareness, augmented reality battlefield overlays, and technological. If real super soldiers were ever to exist, it's far more likely that they would be technological rather than biological. They would likely have powered exoskeletons, advanced body armor, AI-assisted situational awareness, and augmented reality battlefield overlays. Technology can bypass biological limits instead of fighting them. The real Captain America of the future probably wears his serum instead of injecting it. Captain America is not really about biology and super serums. He's about potential, about moral character, and about responsibility. The serum that Steve Rogers takes amplifies who he already is. That is why the story resonates with most people. and why the science, even when impossible, feels believable enough to question. So, final verdict. Enhanced strength? Partially plausible. Enhanced endurance? Somewhat plausible. Instant full body transformation? No. Rapid healing without catastrophic risk? Absolutely not. The Super Soldier Serum remains excellent science fiction, rooted in real biology, but pushed far beyond what nature would actually allow. And that is exactly why it continues to fascinate us. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the Super Soldier Serum, then subscribe to the Real Science of Sci-Fi channel and let me know in the comments which sci-fi science should I look into next.